Flip the script.
Flip the book.
Right side up.
Well, here we are at the Fayetteville Public Library Center for Innovation, and I had the good fortune of meeting this lovely crew because of my book, Blockchain Tethered AI. But we're here to talk today about how to flip the script so people are paid for their work instead of the middleman.
What are we really worried about here with AI? What are our concerns in terms of intellectual property and jobs?
Well, there's a big concern that AI is going to take jobs. And I think what we want to talk about is which jobs AI could take.
That's really great. You know, there's a lot of talk right now about AI taking over the jobs of actors. And, you know, a lot of the people who are working behind the scenes, like Orson's talking about here, what can we do to prevent that? What can we do to really impact that community?
I think one of the most important things that we can do is ensure that we, one, credit people for creating new content, and two, make sure that they get the credit where it's due if it is being consumed by a human or by an AI model during the training process.
What about compensation, that they get compensated fairly?
100%.
That's right.
Yeah.
For their creation, it's theirs.
Mm-hmm.
They should get compensated as long as it's available and they own it. Should.
Absolutely. This seems to be fracturing a lot of jobs out there and really changing the landscape of how people are working.
Yes, and what they're doing in the film industry is they're saying AI will help you with their job, but the way that it's helping is they will hire an actor, for instance, a background actor, pay them a few $100s for the day's work, scan their image, and then own the studio. The production company owns that actor's image forever, and they never have to pay that actor again. Meanwhile, the actor is aging, and all the things that they worked so hard for in their prime, now they're going to have to compete with themselves. Well, what we want to do is flip the script. So instead of a production company owning that digital image and digital voice, that the actors themselves own.
Interesting. How do you think, how are we going to be protecting their property? I know you work a lot in blockchain technology. You think that's the solution for the future?
Yeah, I think blockchain is a fantastic use case for this in particular because it's going to be tamper evident. It is going to allow us to store all of the metadata qualities that, you know, encompass maybe somebody's likeness or rights, and therefore enable us to track it and, as Orson said, make sure that they get that compensation they deserve whenever that's used. The awesome thing also about blockchain is you can put smart contracts around this data, so you can make sure that it is only being used in ways that you want and that you actually want to pass on.
I feel like it's also very timely. You know, right now we're talking a lot about actors and writers getting the power back, you know, and taking the power out of the hands of the people who are raking in millions and billions of dollars on their work. I mean, it goes back to putting the power back in the hands of the workers who are providing the value to these organizations, to these projects. How do you think, Orson, that this will become part of like the educational realm? You know, when we work together to teach people about production and live event technologies, do you think this is something that we should teach them as well? Like warn them about AI, maybe teach them how to harness the powers of AI?
Absolutely. When you have people that can explain it and they can use it once they understand it, that's another skill that they've required. And what we see is that there's so much out here with new technology. You mentioned games, and that's a whole nother round for people. These folks don't get to work either right now with the strike that's going on. But what we're talking about is taking those skills, work-based learning, that we've talked about before, and you're seeing people that don't have college degrees that are working in skills that are very vital to an industry that people want to see, that every day there's somebody dealing with something that's involving the movie industry, TV, streaming now, all of this, and all the script writers. And we've talked about so many different people, the production crews, the camera crews, all these different things. So I think that is definitely something that we want to take charge of and be at the forefront of right now.